The United States Senate is currently considering a bill called the Surface Transportation and Rail Security Act of 2007. It does focus some needed attention on the status of, on the one hand, our passenger rail transportation system across the country. That's obviously urgent because of the terrorist attacks in Madrid and London in recent years. It also focuses on the shipment of hazardous materials that flow across our society, much needed materials, much of which enters our major cities on rail lines or highways or pipelines, and presents a very inviting and dangerous target, for terrorists in the United States. In the area of rail security and passenger rail security, it does a number of important things. On the one hand, it authorizes the Department of Homeland Security to assess the inherent vulnerabilities of our passenger rail transportation system. And obviously there's tension here because transit systems in major cities or interstate rail systems such as Amtrak, they are designed to be accessible to passengers. But that makes them inviting targets for terrorists. In fact, these kinds of transportation networks are the primary target for terrorists around the world. And the bill authorizes some much needed capital for, like Amtrak, for example, which has been cash-starved in recent years, to step up security of its stations, its tunnels, particularly in the Northeast corridor of the United States. In the area of the transportation of hazardous materials around the country, including through major urban centers, unfortunately, the bill falls short. It is a bill that's designed to secure the status quo rather than being a forward-looking bill that helps to promote safer technologies, more secure alternatives that doesn't just secure the existing flow of hazardous materials, but really takes hazardous materials to the extent possible off our rail lines and off our highways, and makes us an inherently safer society in the process. Rail security and chemical security really do go hand in hand. The Center for American Progress has done some very significant analysis on chemical security, for example, and what we found in a report called Preventing Toxic Terrorism last year was that there are very significant and safer alternatives available for some of the primary hazardous materials that are on our rail systems and on our highways today. Materials such as chlorine, sulfur dioxide, and ammonia, where there are alternative technologies and methodologies already in existence, already being adopted around the country, that make our society inherently safer and reduces the number of terrorism targets that are available in our society. And unfortunately, this bill, like chemical legislation passed last fall, are really missed opportunities where the government can exert significant leverage on the private sector to analyze and look at safer alternatives and to move to new procedures, new methodologies, new methods of storage that not just manages risk, but really eliminates risk and eliminates terrorism targets